All right, time to put the new engine in. Same kind of deal, you're going to be towards the back, so we're going to back up, get out of the garage, and I'm going to go in first.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good spot. Ready? 3, 2. You okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll let you walk backwards. Okay. Now you got to hold the bike still again while I shove this in. Remember about the kickstand collapsing if we roll forwards at all.
Yeah.
Too far back. Okay, what's your secret? Pull the oil filter off if I can. Fresh oil. This bike had so low miles. The oil is still golden. That's how few miles were on this motor.
That's just crazy.
Yeah. And I rode it out of a parking lot and crashed it. You take that for a test ride? Sure. Hey, we're in. You're right. All right. So now I just have to put the brackets, so you can let go of the bike, it's going to stay up now. I just got to put the brackets back in and mount the engine in, yeah. You see how this is down from that bracket? We need to rock it around to get it up to there, so if you want to hold the bike still. Ready?
Yeah.
There we go. Almost there. Yeah, that's pretty close. Okay, I should probably reposition the camera. All right, so I had completely removed this bracket from the side of the bike, so I think that'll be one of the first that I put back. It passes all the way through, and it's going to catch the other bracket on the other side. So, let's not do that yet, if you can.
Okay.
Oh, you can let go of the bike, yeah.
That's what I mean.
Okay, yeah, I'm just a little distracted.
It's okay.
See any more of these long bolts? Oh, here's one. What did this go to? I don't remember. Okay, let's pass this one through. I think this is the right length. Yeah. Okay, so coming through here, and we're going to rock the engine to get that through. Okay, we'll just stop there.
Oh, it's so close.
Yeah, I know. And I think this bottom one's the right length too. Yep, seems like it. Yeah, maybe it's too short.
It's hitting the bracket.
No, it's the right length. Okay. I'll come over on that side and see what I have to do to the engine to get it to line up. Okay. Where's my BFS? Can you hand me that BFS?
This is it.
Green handle? Big freaking screwdriver? Oh. Hello, ladies. Happy birthday, Tesla.
Are you guys having fun?
Now comes the harder part of actually getting it back together. Coming apart's easy, because you really don't have to align anything. Getting it back together, you do. Okay, so... Oh, lose a finger doing this. Okay, so in yet? Almost. There we go. That one bolt through. Let's get that other one. There we go. Both of them through. Now let's work on the front bolts before I put those nuts on. Alright, so it went like that. I can tell by the starter. I think it was like that actually. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Oh, hey, it lines up pretty darn nicely actually. Alright, so we've got one long bolt that goes all the way through. Is that all the way through?
Yep.
Not enough.
No.
I think that one's a little bit too short or something. Long bolts. We've got 2 over here, and I think we need 3. So where's the third one? Oh.
Could it be in your toolbox?
Nope, it was stayed on the floor down here somewhere. I'll figure it out. It's got these 2 short ones, this short one. These 2 probably go up here.
Watch us find it later.
Yeah. Yeah, these 2 go into the frame, or the bracket that we just installed. Luckily, I've got all that video if I really need to go back and see what bolt goes where.
Yeah.
I can just re-watch it all.
That's the magical part of recording, yeah. So.
Okay, ratchet. Where'd I put my ratchet?
Up here.
Thanks.
Do you want the extension too? Just the racket.
Just the ratchet for now.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll keep this over here.
You know, this might just be the right one for this bracket. Which is sticking through. Oh, not very much. Which is going to be sticking through on this one. Oh, it's stuck right now. I won't worry about it. Where'd the extension go?
Right here.
Oh, thank you. And 15s, the big ones. Yes. And part of why I didn't want to wait too long to put this back together. You forget where everything goes really fast. This engine's still got that cable on there that I left on the bike when I took the other engine out. The ground strap. So I'll deal with that later. This can go back down that way. That cable, yeah. It actually comes around over to here. Let's see if this is the same length as those. Nope, it's much longer. So those are the right ones for that hole. No, nothing went through the middle here. Oh, I know where this last one goes.
At the bottom.
Down here, yeah. Was there a bracket for this? Yes, there was. Okay.
Oh, it's not this bottom.
There we go. Okay, so we gotta wiggle that bottom until that comes through. BFS, please. Thank you.
No. This feel.
Cool. Can you hold that in place? See? Oh, dang. Oh, good thing I'm wearing gloves.
Yeah.
I really shouldn't have left this under the engine.
I was gonna say we want to go get towels, but we don't have one.
No, that's fine. I've got enough rags. Here's one that's not oily.
There.
Thank you. I'm just going to change this one glove, and this part will be all clean and rust-proof. Let me get this oil out of the garage.
Is that old oil?
Yeah, it's from the old engine. Just hold your finger against it. Short ones, I think that these are the right length for these.
And I was talking about this not touching on this metal that they have here.
I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks.
Yeah.
This one. Do I have a couple of bolts like this over there? They may not have the nuts at the end, but they'll look like that on the floor over there.
No, not really.
Okay. You know what? I think we got the wrong bolt down here. Let's take this bolt back out and swap to this one up here. I mean, you can label all these bolts and it makes it easier, sort of, but labeling them is kind of a pain. So I always find that the right bolt will go in the right hole, and sometimes the wrong bolt will go in the wrong hole, but you can always swap it when you figure out where it belongs.
It's bigger.
Did it come out?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to have to jiggle the engine around to get this one out again.
Yep. Other glove on.
And I got the right length for the top now. Yeah, see? It sticks to just the right amount up on top. Let's do the top one.
This bolt.
Top. So hook it on the metal and I'll try and get the center of it. Wiggle it around till I get it in the middle. There we go. Thanks. I think that's the right way to install that. I think these are the two that are missing for right here.
Maybe.
And then I'm missing two that go along through here. And it might be these two that I put in over here, in which case, where are the two that go there? Alright, got the engine bolted in now. That was actually rather easy. I've got an injector plug with an R and an injector plug with an F. So front cylinder injector plug. Rear cylinder injector plug. Fuel injection is awesome. This one is a little bit longer, I think goes over here. It's the TPS, throttle position sensor. So if it plugs in, it's probably the right thing. There we go. Let's see. Got this big plug. This is manifold air pressure, I believe. Oh, that's not that one. Okay. Oh, here's the big one. So probably manifold air pressure sensor. It's 4-wire, whatever it is. Weird. There we go. Okay, that's plugged back in. I think that's all the sensors around here. C. Oh, this will be for coil. Maybe my gas tank. And I've got a little one right here. Temperature sensor around here or something. Oh, that's probably why the map sensor is full wire. One of those wires is the air temperature sensor. So I've still got one extra plug. Let's see. Not seeing anything else. Yeah, it'll become obvious eventually. This one says C. I can see why one of them has a C, because they're both the same freaking wire, same connector. I bet that's my fuel tank right there. Okay, so I got this sensor back here. It's probably the neutral sensor, but as you can see, the top of it's wiggling, so it must have smacked on something and gotten broken. Could have been during shipping, who knows, doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna swap it out with the one from the spare engine, the old engine. Hopefully the O-ring on it doesn't leak, but that should be fine. Oh, this O-ring got damaged while it was being installed. See that? It's fired up right there. You can see this O-ring, let's see. Get on the other side of the camera so I can see it. Yeah, you can see it got damaged on the way in. That's a piece of the O-ring. Ugh. No wonder these bikes always leak oil. Ugh. I'll go get the other one. Okay, so what they probably did wrong at the factory is you never install an O-ring dry. Come on, focus. There we go. So I put a little bit of oil on this O-ring. This is the one out of the 500 engine. I looked in the hole. This appears to be a Hall effect speed sensor. It's 3-wire. Let's see. 3 wires. And just watches the teeth of the transmission go by or something. And reports the bike's speed. So there we are. The old one had more potential to leak than this one because my O-ring was in good condition. Go. Still haven't figured out where this goes. There's got to be something up here that it plugs into that's one wire.
Could it be that? No.
Alright. So this is the starter wire. It's right there. Rectifier can get plugged back in. Alright, another day. Back at it. I'm going to go ahead and put the clutch back on. Let's see if I can get this bracket up this time. Now, the bracket really wants to stay with the cable. I'm going to put oil in it next so that I don't end up trying to start it without oil. We're getting close enough to that it's going to be a concern. My original clutch bracket back on. Snug. So rubber grommet back up on the cable. And we gotta get this back in here. free play in here. Yeah, that feels about right. We'll tighten it right there. I can adjust it more later on if I need to. There we go. Perfect. Cool. Clutch is working. The authentic black oil filter, not to be confused with the green oil filter. Okay, and then authentic genuine motor oil, non-synthetic, so that I can break this puppy in. Got 4 quarts of this. I'm going to put 3 quarts in, check it again after I started it, and go from there. So, oil filter. One of these I've opened already. I don't know. Maybe not. Put a little bit of oil in the filter. Never like to start a dry filter. And that gives me some oil to put on the O-ring. So the O-ring will seal and not stick. Alright. Okay, oil filter goes over here. Got all kinds of wires running through this area right now. They're probably in the wrong spot. There we go. I was beginning to think I had the wrong filter. There we go. Good and snug. I'll worry about the rectifier in a bit. Now let's pour some oil into this thing. I don't even need a funnel. Just goes in nicely. Now I'm going to put the dipstick back in. Dirt at the top of it. And I'll check that after I start it because it's going to need some of the last quart. And I need to put the brakes back, the rear brake setup back on here. Got my camera setting on that at the moment, so let's get that out of the way. Okay, here's the master cylinder. Reservoir goes here. There we go. Well, let's adjust the camera so you can see what I'm up to. Okay, so you guys didn't get to see me do the throttle cable because I had that positioned wrong, but I just kind of slipped them back in place. Crankcase ventilation goes out to the valve covers. Yeah, it goes out of the valve covers and into the air filter. Cool. And then this pops out into the air filter. I gotta put these little clamps back in place. And I guess I can put the air filter back on because I've got all the wires in here. And then I'm going to do the exhaust, and then I'll do the cooling system. It's got this here. This is why I leave all the bolts where I had them, so it's nice and easy to figure out. It's got this nice ram air, or, air horn, that's what I'm thinking of, to get the air. Velocity stack? Yeah, velocity stack is the word they use. It's got a velocity stack built into this thing, which is one of its nicest features. Come on, screws. The mounting plate for the air filter. I should probably go and clean my air. So this vent just kind of slips into here and is a snug fit after that. Boy, is it annoying trying to get it through. I spent forever the first time doing this. All right, see, it was easy. Not. All right. Amazingly enough, that stays in there just being pressed in like that. You would think it wouldn't. Probably should have put on some gloves this morning. Too late now, can't go back. Wonder where I put the 2 bolt. Oh, I left them in the old engine. Let's go get those out of the old engine. Nope, this is the wrong side of the engine. These go on this side. Let's go ahead and leave them over here. So obviously I need to replace this where it says 500 liquid cooled. I need to get a 750 cover. But I'm not going to leave it naked for the time being. I'll put the 500 back on there. Now let's go ahead and do the exhaust, because once I got the exhaust on I can start putting the cooling system back together. Okay, so this one's got to come under here. Where it belongs in the pipe's reach. Okay, before I put that clamp on, let's get the front pipe on. This one should be pretty easy. There we go. Yep, it was. Okay, pipe where it belongs, muffler's up where it belongs. Cool. I'm working on bolting the muffler back on at the moment. Well, I'm not going to snug it up, but I am going to get the bolts started. This was literally the first thing that I did to the bike. I rode it to work. I'd already ordered the muffler. The muffler showed up at work. I did it in the parking lot. Did the upgrade in the parking lot during my lunch break. And then I rode it around the building several times and came inside with a grin on my face for the rest of the day, because it finally sounded like a Harley, which is what I had bought, but it did not sound like. They're snug by hand so that the exhaust can move around as I tighten the clamps, and then I will snug the muffler up. The muffler's all scratched up from my girlfriend learning to ride unsuccessfully. But I'll put some paint over that and it'll be fine. Some barbecue paint. Oxygen sensors. Well, crap, one's way longer than the other. I don't know, I think this one, the short one will go here. I could rewatch my video, but I don't want to do that. This one, I'll plug in out there. Or, you know what? This one probably plugs in here. And then there's probably a black, yeah, there's a black one for that. Okay, so long one's going to be the front. Okay, we're just going to hook up some wiring now. And remember, I had two plugs that looked just like this. One of them was marked C, so I thought it was a coil. I was right, I'm sure. The other one appears to go to the idle air solenoid, so that was back there and I couldn't quite see it. Throttle position sensor, two injectors. I can hang the thermostat housing now, and then I can do the coil. This lower radiator hose needs to go in. Like I'd said before, I'd love to have this one come up and go a little bit higher and put this so the cold coolant comes into the head rather than the cylinders. But I'm just not interested in redesigning it right now. I'm more about just getting it working again. I bought a bunch of hose clamps. Okay, so this says 32 to 57 millimeter. These are both that. I got a couple of these 14 to 31 millimeter, and or actually I got four of those. And I got four 3/8 to 7/8 or 9.5 to 22 millimeter. I don't see how these could possibly get all the way to 22 millimeter, but you know, I got some overlap on all of these clamps, so it should work out. But yeah, I'm going to start with these mid-sized ones. I think these are going to be proper for this hose here. All right. With any luck, I won't have to make a run to the auto parts store for more hose clamps. Okay, so that one's on. Clamp on the top. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, there's that one. So that's on good now. Nice and snug. I'll use these two other big clamps on these two that are going to go to the thermostat housing. Put these on in a way that I can still get to the fasteners. There we go. That should work. Let's go ahead and take these Allen nuts, bolts out. Thermostat housing, got a electrical plug for it. It goes right here. That's the coolant temperature sensor. It actually comes through behind the manifold air pressure sensor. It's got this little clip here that keeps the radiator cap from coming off. Not that I've ever heard of that happening, but hey, it's nice that they cared. Harley's never done coolant before, so well, I guess they've done it on the V-Rod, but let's see why they'd be concerned. Let's get these hoses in now. Probably should have done that before I started screwing it on. Oh well. Okay, and I've got a little bit of wiring to do down here. Let's see if that's on camera. Down here at the rectifier plug, I've got the crank trigger pickup. So I'll bring this wire back this way to catch that. There we go, nice click. And then I've got to hang the rectifier in such a way that the wiring is not in the way. out these wires. I think I'm going to bring them over the oil filter. Seems like I'm totally routing them wrong. They probably came under the frame down here or something previously, but it'll work in this new location. Just wrap the wiring harness up and over and behind like that. That seems proper. Rectifier harness. Come over like that. Eventually I'll do some zip ties. I can see there used to be one on the frame right here. I've got the horn wires that come up here. I've got the horn relay I installed. And then this last plug is for the radiator fan. I don't even want to tell you how long I spent sitting there going, what does this go to? There's nothing left the other night. Not too long, but longer than I should have, that's for sure. Apparently my neighbor has turned into a carpenter. Alright, so I'm going to put the radiator in next. So this is going to go through here, something like that. Goofy. Radiator's still got a lot of coolant in it. This has got to come down and around to there. So lower hose. Upper hose is going to come up to the thermostat housing. May have to put that bracket on after. Did that most of that radiator install with it zoomed in too much to even see what I'm doing. There's a better view. Get the feet for the radiator into their spots. And there we go. Now the top bolts for the radiator are here. So there's the radiator fan. I'll have to zip tie this on the frame somewhere too. Maybe in a couple of spots. Something up here. Yeah, looks like there were 2 zip ties here, so it's probably held that. Okay, hose clamps. The last 2 hose clamps, let's get them done. Really need to stand the bike up. Take this stand off so I can do the shifter. Be a good time to tighten this clamp. Let's see what I can do. Oh, let's do the freaking belt. Wrong place. Let's see, I'm leaning it over. Against the wall like a bicycle. What could go wrong? Yeah, I'm sorry about all the dog barking in this video. It is what it is. I can't give up a day of work just because the neighbor's an asshole. really have to take this bike all the way apart if you wanted to detail the thing. Okay, so that's all the hose clamps that I had to remove. Let's do the shift lever now. This is the bolt from the shift lever. I should put it back where I was done. It's perfectly upright. Okay, after reviewing my video, it seems that the rod needs to be straight up. Strangely, I seem to be missing the video where I had that, I removed that, so. Dig around on my phone and see where it ended up. I think that's the right spot for it. Alright, and this goes over to my shifter. So let's try and hang that back on the bike. Yeah, that's going to work fine. Good enough. First gear, neutral. Alright. Let's refill the cooling system. More liquids that you don't want to... You can start the bike without coolant. It's not the end of the world, but you certainly don't want to run it long without coolant. Oh, and I haven't tightened this housing yet. I need to tighten that. Go. When I first bought the bike, this tube had a slit down the side of it from the factory, and I was losing coolant the whole first couple of months that I owned it until they could get it back ordered and install it. Alright, we're just going to pour the old coolant back in because it's still just fine. Oops, come on. What's it take to lead you into the system? Oh, this is going to take forever. What a dumb system. Need one of those funnels that latches into this. This is going to take a while. I'm going to stop the camera while I do this. Filling this thing has been a real chore. I got all of the coolant in the green catcher back in here, or green pan, and I just alternate by squeezing down here and giving it some time, and I can only put in a tablespoon at a time practically. You see I'm still getting bubbles out, but it's clearly more full after I finished that green thing than it was before, so I think I'm almost there. If I can get it most of the way full, it won't be an issue because every time the engine cools down, it'll suck more back in to fill. It's pretty self-filling, and I'll just have to monitor the overflow tank while it finishes burping itself. But I think I'm there now because I was seeing a lot of bubbles before. So we'll call that good. Top this all the way off. A little bit of water. I don't think I put more than about 4 or 5 ounces of water into it. The rest of it was all the old coolant. So there we go. And that's to keep this thing from backing off by itself. So hot fluid will scald you. It's kind of under the gas tank, so you're not going to be messing with this cap most of the time. All right. Now I just have to put the coil back on. That coil goes right below this. Coil install, because, well, why not? I do need to find my green spark plug wires. I'm not putting this back together with the purple ones if I can avoid it. Hopefully they're down here in the garage somewhere and I don't have to go into the attic to find them, but if I do, so be it. That goes up to the fuel tank eventually. Okay, coil pack is installed. Now I just need plug wires. Those would be wonderful. Alright, first attempt at starting the thing. I got the gas tank back on. I drained the gas tank so it wouldn't be pouring out all over the bike while I installed it. So you can see I got the green spark plug wires. So let's see if it'll fire off or not. Oh snap. I know you just sat through like 45 minutes of reassembly, but you're gonna have to come back next week and see what happened when I tried to start this thing. Let me know what you think of this especially long video. Let me know if you think I should have done more time lapse and less chatting, or if you think I should have split the reassembly process into 2 videos. The problem with that was I just couldn't decide where I wanted to cut the video in half at. So you just ended up with one really long video. Remember, YouTube has permanently disabled my comments, so find my Uniclocker fan page on Facebook and post your comments and questions there. Make sure you've subscribed here. The next video will be up in a week.